great things. Let it be in the marketing space, let it be in cryptocurrency. And I brought back John Lombela, a good friend of mine who's been playing in that space for quite a while. John Lombela, John is the cryptocurrency guru. I call him like that.
I'm an entrepreneur myself, all the way from South Africa. It is important to always develop new things, right? So ambitiously build new occasions beyond just financial services. Yes, we believe in the financial services. I mean, Bitcoin, as a matter of fact, was created as a payment system, a peer-to-peer cash electronic system. It all started from there, but it doesn't have to stop there.
Well. Okay, so today is actually an interesting time. Let me do something really quick. There we go, guys. So hopefully you guys can hear me, and I've got an amazing, exciting guest today. And it's not unusual, by the way, that we kind of do this, right? But I mean, this is me, the entrepreneur who is always, who's always got something brand new, right? So this specific guest is a special one. And by the way, she happens to be sharing with me not only the studio, but you know what? As we go on, some of you guys who actually know me, you will be able to understand exactly who she is, right? So I bring to you the one and only Donascimento K Lombela. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first of all, for you guys who are actually joining in, please tell me where you are joining in from, and make sure that you like, you share, you comment, and you share this particular live, right? It's a very special live. Today, I'm going to let you into my life, the life of an entrepreneur, and also let me know if you can hear me well, if the sound is okay, and let us know exactly where you're dialing in from. Make sure that you put in the comments, give us some heart, give us some love, and we can't wait to actually kick off this particular show. And by the way, as a reminder, we're doing this. This is the month of August, right? So we're doing this to celebrate women. But what a better way for me to actually celebrate one person who certainly has, like I said, she stood the test of time. She's going through the waves. She's actually seen some amazing things in the life of the entrepreneur that I am. And interesting, well, I'm not going to spoil names. She is the one. It is about celebrating women. She is the one who will be talking exactly to you guys and explain to you what does it mean to being, married to an entrepreneur, and what are the expectations, what are the challenges, what are the things you actually go through as a partner. Do you break down? Do you actually, how do you stay motivated? Okay, how do you stay motivated in times of difficulty? And how do you actually encourage the partner? So these things from her perspective, but also to encourage women out there who are entrepreneurs or who have partners who are entrepreneurs. And what do you need to do, right? So Donna is surely going to give her inspiring journey. I'm the host. I ask questions, so my guests respond to questions, right? So she doesn't know the question I'm going to be asking. She doesn't know. She may have an understanding of the topic because I always prep my guests for that. But the questions also depend on how well the guest is engaging on the journey, right? So please give us some hearts. And if you have any questions all the time, make sure that you actually mention them. I want to make sure that I welcome some of the people who are coming on the show. And there we go. So I actually have got a few people on the show right now. And Freddie is there, Faro is there. Welcome to the show, guys. So I definitely welcome you on the show. So let's actually talk about you. It's not about me, it is about you, Donna. So how can you actually tell exactly the audience who watches us religiously every single week, every single Monday at 7 p.m.? Tell them exactly who you are, your name, where you come from, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right. So thank you so much for having me on the show and evening to the guests on your show. So the usual listeners, I know some of you always comment and whatnot and very active, and we appreciate you guys. So hi to everybody out there. And yeah, so I'm Donna. I say it all with my entire name, and I'm from the Congo as well. And, but actually come from a different town. We come from Kinshasa and I come from Washington, right? So we never met in the Congo, by the way. And we met here in South Africa back in 2002. And we both came here obviously for studies and whatnot. And we met. So my journey here in South Africa, obviously you come for studies and have better life opportunities and whatnot. So I've always wanted to have, you know, a life where I'm really proud of my upbringing and where I'm coming from. You know, I lost my parents, both my parents, I was very young, and I was so fortunate to grow up in my uncle's house and his beautiful wife. Both of them are no more, actually, bless their souls. But, you know, I've learned as I grew up, always to find and try to be the best. I was playing volleyball back at the time, so I was always winning. So you have that competitive spirit, all the time wanting to be the best. At school, grades, you know, trying to be the best and trying always to be the top 3 or, you know, not less than 5, and always pushing yourself and trying to achieve more.
All right, just hold on 1 second, please. I can hear that people are mentioning that we have a poor sound, and we're gonna have to try and check in for me to actually better the sound. So I normally don't do that during the show, but you know what? And thank you very much, by the way, the audience. Just give me 1 moment, and I will be able to unlock the sound, which means that I'm going to disappear a little bit, but just for a few seconds. It's nerve-wracking, I know, but you know what? Just give me a little time, okay? So meanwhile, I'm just going to pause a bit before we actually. All right, guys. So I hope that you guys can actually hear me, and I hope that the sound is a little bit better. Please give me a comment below if you can hear the sound. Please make a comment below so I can actually figure out whether you can hear the sound. We have a little bit of a poor and technical issue right now for a very, very good conversation going on. But please tell me if you can hear the sound so we can actually move forward. Okay, so if you can hear the sound, please give me a thumbs up and make a comment below so we can actually move ahead. So welcome to the show. I can see quite a few people here saying that the sound is a bit poor, but you know what? I'm going to let her, Donna, to carry on this conversation as she talks exactly about where she is coming from. Please carry on.
Thank you. So as I was saying, you know, so coming to South Africa, it was a new country, new language, and totally different, you know, way of life and whatnot. But again, it was about making it happen, working hard, pushing it through, and just being somebody that you will be proud of and your family will be proud of as well. So yeah, that's about that. So as I came here, of course, to learn studies, but we had family here that were very supportive, but obviously you had to really push for yourself and really push for your goals. And I then started working. I had a very small job in Melrose, and I worked there for about 7 months. And then there was this great guy that had an Italian store in Sanson, and he was like, "Wow, I love your service so much. Why don't you come and work in my store?" I'm like, "Right, why not?" So there I went. And then it was beautiful Italian home decor store, and it was just fantastic. I was like, "My house one day, this is the place." So, you know, for me, it was a step forward in terms of I was going to be making more money because I wanted then to get a small car and start studying, and I could go to school, actually attend some classes after work. So a couple of months down the line, Jovo Kits, the ladies out there know Jovo Kit, right? The boutique lady that's got a beautiful clothing line. She walked in that store, and of course, I served her and whatnot. She was so impressed with my service and whatnot. She sent a PA to come and have a chat with me and actually steal me from my job. And then they offered me way, way more with commission and whatnot. It was what I wanted. And now I find myself being able to afford a place on my own, to pay for studies and have a small car, which I did. And then obviously then I finished my become accounting, and then I did my articles, and I've been in corporate for the past 10 years, obviously passing my board exam and becoming a member of the South African Institute of Professional Accountants. And yeah, so that's me.
It's fantastic. So before we move on to the next step, right? I want you to explain to the audience right there. Your name is one of the names that is kind of complicated to pronounce. How do you pronounce Donascimento or Donascimento? That is more of a Portuguese name. Can you actually explain to the audience whether you have Portuguese roots or, and explain to them exactly what does the name mean?
Well, my dad went to Angola just before I was born. So I guess he fell in love with the language, Portuguese. I do not speak Portuguese, but as he came back and I was born, and he gave me the name Donascimento, which means the one who is well born. And I carry that name with so much pride and love and just remembrance of him, actually.
Right.
And it's Donascimento.
Donascimento. So for those of you guys who would like to know exactly how to pronounce her name, that is Donascimento. But of course, I don't call her Donascimento. I got it short to Dona. So before we carry on, guys, I want you to share the slide. Please share, because the more you share, you know what we have a routine every single Monday. We kind of pick up a gift, right? Some lucky winner out there will be able to win something from me and my team. We give books, we give access to whatever services. But you know what? And by the way, Tamang, if you are watching this, which I know you are, this is my gift to you, right? So I'm going to give 1,000 rand in Bitcoin, okay? 1,000 rand in Bitcoin to a lucky winner tonight, by the way. So Tamang is going to monitor, but for you to actually stand a chance to win, this is what you got to do, okay? You have to share as many times as you can. That's one. You gotta share the slide on your pages and invite other people to come through. All right, that's one. Number two, what you have to do is please prepare or make comments, engage with us, engage with Donna. She is your guest. She's my guest today. But I mean, she is here to inspire you guys about her journey and how she's actually embarking on this field to support entrepreneurs. So at the end, before the end of the show, Tabang, who normally monitors my life, is going to tell me, hey, John, you know what? I do believe we need to give this person. So he's going to choose a name, and he will mention to me during the show who that winner is. And as we choose the winner, I will announce the winner during the show, and then we'll tell you exactly how to embark so that I can then engage with you and get you 1,000 rand in Bitcoin. I said in Bitcoin, because remember, guys, I'm a blockchain guy and Bitcoin guy, maximalist, and I believe in cryptocurrencies. And I want you as well to start learning exactly what it means to be in the space of cryptocurrencies. All right. So the next thing that I want to talk about is I want you to explain to the audience exactly your journey to being a professional senior accountant. How did you make it there, and why did you actually choose to being a professional accountant? Right. I mean, because you love numbers, is it because you were so smart at school, or what happened?
So I love numbers, definitely. My hardcore topics in high school was actually maths and physics and hardcore drawings. I love that. So obviously, I didn't do commercial studies in high school, but interestingly, I met a couple of people as I was working at my environment, and all of that, and progressing and asking questions, and then accounting came upon it. And then I did research upon it. I'm like, wow, this is something that inspires me. And it's numbers, so I can do numbers.
Okay. And by the way, I can she, she definitely does numbers. Look, I'm great at what I do, but just recently, there were so many transactions that I was actually doing every single day, and I wanted a bookkeeper or an accounting perspective, right? For me to get it from. Everything was in my head, but I needed her to be able to do that for me. I mean, and I gave her the concept, I gave her exactly what I needed, and guess what? She sat in front of the computer, and within a couple of hours, I had a beautiful spreadsheet telling me exactly how I run my business and how to actually understand the numbers. And what numbers? Not any kind of numbers. Numbers between your fiat currency and your Bitcoin numbers, because we do large transactions, large volumes every single day. It's an exciting business I'm actually in, guys. One day I will spend some time with my team to just explain to you exactly what we are doing. So what I want you to explain to the audience is explain to them exactly how you met your life partner.
Wow.
I don't know who that is, though, by the way. I'm just so please explain to our lovely audience who your life partner is, really.
Well,
and how you met him. That's the question.
So that is the question. I'm going there. Right. All right. So, like I mentioned, we met here in South Africa, and his cousin Freddie was studying with me back in high school.
Freddie, you watching? Was it you?
So we started grade 8 back in Ubashi, and was very good friends. So as I came to South Africa, we met at my first, trying to sort out papers and whatnot. They're like, oh, hold on a second, my brother knows somebody who can speed up the process. So, oh, that was awesome and whatnot. So we hooked up, and one day it became a John, the cousin, right? So that's how we met for the first time, and we had a click, and we just,
Let me ask you another question. I mean, this is another question. Did you know that when you met this guy, because your cousin actually brought him, did you actually know that he was going to be your life partner?
Definitely not. He was a good-looking guy. He was a cousin of a very good friend for a long time, and we still were friends, share so many memories together. But I was in a relationship at the time. So, for me, it was like, oh, it's cool, and we clicked, but, I'm in a relationship, and that was about it. And then, life went on.
Are you saying that this guy actually snatched you away from that relationship? I mean, you actually telling me things I didn't know. Well, yeah, I gotta do, but please tell the audience, are you saying that he snatched you away? What happened, and how did that lead you to actually getting together and starting dating?
Well, so obviously we clicked, and because I was in a relationship, he respected that. And we were like, all right, then we'll just be friends. And as time went on, a couple of years down the line, relationship didn't work on my side. Then he just reached out to me out of the blue, actually, because I went down to Cape Town and came back to Joburg. And then here's John calling one day, hi, how are you? John? Wow. And then that's how now the friendship started again, and then the relationship.
Right. So, look, these specific, we are bilingual, right? So we come from the Francophone region, and we are also in the Anglophone region. So, but we've spent about 18 years plus in South Africa. Beautiful place, beautiful country, lots of opportunities. If you only spend time for you to identify them. But I also know that my audience out there is French speaking as well. So I'm just going to throw in a few words in French to make them feel better. But the show is going to carry on in English. Pour tous les amis qui sont en train de m'écouter en ce moment, d'abord, pour l'instant, je vous remercie énormément de pouvoir en fait être dans ce live. Curieusement, c'est la première fois que je parle en français en fait depuis que je fais mes lives. Ça fait quand même très longtemps. Mais on est très content que vous soyez là. Et aujourd'hui, c'est simplement en train de partager l'expérience. Et c'est Donna qui est mon invité spécial aujourd'hui. Et simplement pour vous expliquer exactement ces perspectives de femmes qui supportent en fait un entrepreneur. Et qu'est-ce qui se passe? J'ai encore des questions énormes à poser, des questions intéressantes. Alors, restez tuned. J'espère que notre anglais va vous aider pouvoir comprendre. Enfin, quand on aura fini, on va essayer de faire en fait un sous-titrage pour ceux qui peuvent en fait resuivre. Mais je vous encourage de pouvoir continuer. So this was just a quick French kind of a throw in right there to be able to say hey to the Francophone region out there, but most importantly as well to get your support. So the next question I want to ask Donna is the following: what were the elements in this partner that you identified, and at the beginning, did this partner show you that he was an entrepreneur? Was he already an entrepreneur? And if so, can you please explain exactly what attracted you to agreeing and being able to marry or engage with this guy in the dating process and all the way to possibly getting married?
All right. So when we started, you were still students, and then I was also just pushing through my studies and working and whatnot. So you just portrayed somebody who knew what he wanted from the go, and that was greatness, perfection, and just awesomeness, you know. And it was very exciting to see that drive because I could feed on it, and I was used to it, and it was just beautiful. So of course, after studying, started. You started.
Yeah.
You started.
I don't know. I'm just the host. But it happens that it's me that she's talking about. So go on.
Yeah. So then, then you wanted to get a job, and then you were staying in Pretoria back then. So I was in Joburg, you were in Pretoria, and then we meet, and then eventually got a job this side, and then moved in this side to Joburg. So I was like, yay, this is happening. And you had to work 8 to 5 work, like everybody out there. Most people out there that I knew, and my type of work as well. When I started in corporate, it's 8 to 5. So obviously you are accustomed to that, and that's your routine, and that's your life. Until one day, people started reaching out to you and services and whatnot because you were so good and brilliant at it, and you always make customers beyond satisfied. So that passion, that desire, and I was like, hey, that's awesome. Of course, it was extra cash coming in, and as someone on, the desire grew. And then it was like, yeah, I'm gonna start a business, GRV Solutions. I'm gonna get my team, we're gonna have coffee, we're gonna brainstorm, this is gonna be amazing. And we're like, yeah, it sounds good. Did sound good. But again, not really understanding the meaning of entrepreneurship, not really understanding the demands and the realities of entrepreneurship, because then it was a totally different journey altogether. From your 8 to 5 person that now it's way home, it's fun, it's relaxing and whatnot. It became more and more busy, and then I was like, actually, when are you gonna really take a break? And no, there's a deadline and whatnot. So you understand. But as I'm living there, as the Bible says, husband love your wives, and wives submit to your husband. So in that submission, there's a mission that needs to be supported, right?
Right.
So I was like, right, I have to be supported here. I don't quite get it. It's getting a bit out of hand. I didn't really quite plan it that way, but I gotta support it. But it did take me time to really embrace it, because I was like, this is taking too much of time. And then we started family, and then I felt like, no, hang on a second. We didn't do enough research, and of course we just jumped in it, and we didn't really have mentors, which is so important. What you're doing right now, mentoring billions of people out there, really, it's so inspiring, and it's important to have people to look up to and learn from them. So for me, it was like a drastic change. So you were so fired up,
right,
and excited, and I was like, all right, I'm going to feed on that and keep going.
So just on that particular note, because that's very interesting element, right? So you meet this guy who's first a student, and he finds a job, moves to Johannesburg, and for you, like, you're really, really fired up and you're happy, because there's no more traveling back and forth to Johannesburg, to Pretoria, and you got excited. Now, when you saw that, and there was the idea of getting hitched, getting married, right? what was the ideal definition of marriage for you? Was it this guy who's got a phenomenal job and he's there and he's able to go, on his 9 to 5 job and come back and start a family and start raising the kids and being at home all the time? Was that your definition of marriage and a happy life?
That was it. And we were living that.
Right. So in other words, did you know that your husband then was an entrepreneur, or did you actually even identify entrepreneurial traits in him? And also by the time that everything changed, okay, from being that employee to a full-on entrepreneur, did that come as a shock to you? And what was your reaction? How did you embrace that going forward? I think it is quite important because what we need to do as well is to help other ladies out there who are either in a relationship, you are in a marriage, and your hubby or your partner or your boyfriend is an entrepreneur, and you're kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. So can you just explain the story and how you felt at the beginning? Because then we are going to drive all the way through to you embracing it and moving forward.
All right. So like you said, for me was the guy was working because, accounting, professional accountant is corporates, right? And then you have your deadline, which are crazy, but after that, it's pretty much like normal. So it was, we all go to work, we come back at 5, then we have the kids, then we do the garden during the weekend, then we go play ball, then we go and do all these things, right? And then I could feel in him that he always wanted more. And even when we first met, he always had this great vision, this great vision of becoming somebody great to impact lives and really make a change out there. So I was like, yeah, he will do that with his job. Yeah, he's gonna climb up the corporate ladder and then just do that. But I did not foresee that he was going to turn into this massive entrepreneur today or one day.
Beautiful. So we're getting a lot of beautiful comments out there. And for example, Freddie. By the way, the comments you see right now is Freddie. Freddie, the cousin of mine, who brought her friend, back in the days to actually be the conduit to making this relationship work so that today we can actually be here and be on this live and finally empower you guys. See that, Frank, this is the first of many to come into the future. Now, the one thing that I want to be able to explain to the audience out there is explain to them exactly how does it feel, to live life as a professional accountant, as a wife, and a mother. How are you able to juggle all of these elements together and still be great at what you do on all these aspects? Can you please explain to the audience as well and encourage them from certain points that you feel that they should be encouraged on?
Right. So it's a challenge. Obviously, it's a challenge. It doesn't come easy, but women can multitask, and this is once again whereby
multitasking, ladies. Multitasking.
You really truly find balance, about your routine and what makes sense to you, because we're different and we look at things differently. We organize our life differently and whatnot. So whatever routine works for me might be different for someone else. But as long as you find your routine and you find yourself being amazing on other aspects, that's important.
Right. And as on all of these elements, as a wife, how do you, so in other words, what I'm trying to get to is explain to me how you're able to switch these roles, right? You wake up in the morning, you have to wear the mother hat as well as the mindset of the financial manager at your work, right? And as you come back, you have to wear the hat of the mother and the wife, or sometimes in the day, you kind of have to wear the hat of the wife as well. So how do you manage to blend in all of those elements for you to still be able to feel safe in everything that you do?
So first of all, I love my work. So, I'm passionate about it and whatnot. And I know the boundaries of work, children, husband, and life balance, family balance. I love children. I love them to bits. So again, it's in me. I'm wired that way. And it's really an amazing grace, actually, I must say, to really, move smoothly along these areas. But there are times that it's challenging when you've got pressure at work, you've got crazy deadlines, there's a crisis, and then you come home, it's like everything is happening at once, like they say, when it rains, it pours, right?
Right.
And then the crash is calling, then your kid fell or something, and you're like, deep breath. Who can I call? Who can ask? Who can assist? If I can't be there, always having a backup system. The nannies are amazing. Bless
Right.
them.
Right. Okay. Beautiful. So let's move on. Let's move on and ask another important question with regards to how, being able to be on the same page and agreeing. How important is it really to agree to your partner's vision and goals? Can you just really explain to the audience? Because the one thing we see right now is, and I've met a few people in my life journey, right, whereby the woman wouldn't approve of the guy's interest, and over time this will frustrate the man and bring a lot of friction in the relationship, right? So, look, some women out there do not agree to the idea of being an entrepreneur because by default to them, being an entrepreneur is synonymous to not only taking so much risk, but for many of them, especially in Africa, it is about being poor or not having money or having money so, right? Because it's not steady. You're still struggling. And especially if you've got a family, it is extremely hard, right? And some women actually part ways. They grow so frustrated in the relationship that they get to a point where they just have to break up. And they also give ultimatums to their husbands or partners to change their ways. So how do you feel about that, and how are you able to maintain the momentum to still be able to succeed in what you are doing, and to support your husband as well in everything he's doing?
All right, so I had to adjust because entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. It's not a straight flat road, it's a bumpy road. But as long as you keep your eyes on the goal, on the vision, on the mission. So I had to come to a point where I had to say, stop. John is evolving from the guy in the office, from the employee to actually being the employer, the entrepreneur, the mentor, the coach. So I had to align myself and take some time and really look at it and say, right, he's going in this direction, he's not coming back here. So I had to tag along. It wasn't easy. It took me some time because I was like, I'm more like security. We need security with the kids and like growing and this and that. We need this in place and whatnot. And he loves risk. Like he's got a risk appetite like I've never seen before. And I was like, oh my God, hold on. I'm a bit risk adverse here. Trying to do all of that. But really by God's grace, there's always been a way. And I was like, it's actually working. Yes, it's a bit bumpy, a roller coaster. It's actually working. So I had to align my thinking and shift into that line,
right,
and follow through.
Okay, so let me ask you another question here, and this is an important one. And by the way, guys, remember, share this live. Okay, you want those bitcoins in Bitcoin? Yeah, exactly. It's 1,000 grand worth of Bitcoin. There's one thing you got to do. In fact, this you can share this live multiple times. We want you to share the live so it can be on your feed. And whoever comes in can actually see that, hey, there's something interesting. By the way, make comments as you share as well so that your friends in your community, in your network, can certainly come and start engaging with us. If you have any questions for Donna as a mother, a wife, or a professional in whatever field that will be for you, but for her, that will be an accountant, make sure to ask those questions. And we want to have this engaging so that she can ask and she can answer some of the questions and so forth, right? You want to stand a chance to win 1,000 rand worth of Bitcoin, of which I will then explain to you how to monetize them for rand or dollars or whatever. Make sure that you follow those instructions, all right? So here's one thing that I want to ask you. I don't believe in work-life balance. Mm-hmm. That's me. I want you to explain to the audience your perspective of work-life balance, and I will explain as well exactly why I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in everything being equal. But please, what is your take on that?
Well, already when you spend over 8 hours at the office working, and then let's say you sleep for about what, 8 hours, depending. Let's say 8 hours. 8 hours at the office, 8 hours sleeping. So that's already 16 hours.
Right.
In your 24-hour day. And you've got how much left? You've got 8 hours left, right? So in that 8 hours, there's your time, of course, to prep yourself, prep the kids, manage life, and whatnot. So you will probably spend most of the time at the office and less time with family. So already there is not quite a balance there. So for me, is to make the most of the moment.
Right.
To make the most of the moment. And then if it means that, I'm gonna finish work today at 5, but then guess what? We have to go spend time with family or do whatever it is. Then you get pumped up and you put as much energy into having a good time at that time.
Right. Okay, guys, so that's your perspective. Now let me explain to you exactly how I think and how I do things. And it's quite funny the way God allows certain things to happen in life, right? I am the complete opposite of who she is. And because of that, I think she manages to balance me out. Okay, I'm an extremely high risk taker. She's not, but she got to adjust and advise wherever. Okay, she believes in the work-life balance. I don't. But here's the thing for me. I do believe that family, my entrepreneurship have all got the same priority. Okay, they all are priority list number one. And I was born before she was and before the kids were. The one principle in my life, and listen to me very carefully, I will not, and I do not, and I know my sons are watching me live right now. I do not compromise what I am working towards for the sake of the kids or my wife. But here's the thing. I have a goal and I have a dream and I have a vision. I have next to me a partner that allows me or accompanies me to fulfill these goals. Everything that came after is a result of this vision and these dreams. What I'm working towards is to building a legacy that will sustain the lifestyle of this family even when I'm gone. So everything, the time that I put on together right now, working extremely hard every single day, is for the betterment of my family. And my family includes her and the kids. The kids were not here when I started this business. I see a lot of entrepreneurs, other people out there, and I know them, who actually have abandoned their dreams because it was not only so hard, but it became, hey, you know what? Right now, I'm only doing this for the kids. No, man, come on, stop this thing. Always hold on to what, in fact, that vision that you have, God gave you that vision. He gave you these goals and he gave you these dreams. And I do believe that no matter how hard it is, he will give you the strength, the resources. He will give you the people around you, supporting you for you to be able to achieve these goals so that your family can still continue living. Because the moment you stop along the way and you realize, you know what, you're only now doing this for the kids, come on, you're really stopping midway, not having achieved that. And therefore, I cannot put the kids second or whatever. So they're all on the same level. When I travel because I have to do so for the kids. All right? Because remember, money is everything. We're going to talk about it just now. And I'm also going to let you in the bumpy roads of my life as I talk about the life of the entrepreneur. This is just to edify you as we let you into our lives and start sharing some of the moments, irrespective of how uncomfortable that may be. But I mean, the idea is to really be able to encourage you guys out there to kick off and support each other as partners, especially when you are building a business, right? So the one thing I want to talk right now is money, love, and family. I want to ask you a question. How is money important to you in a relationship or being married as a wife? How is that important? And how is money important? do you want to have more money? Do you want to feel more loved? Do you want to build a family? So what is the ratio? How do you compare all of these three from your perspective today?
No, I want them all equally. And you know that. I want them all equally because we live once. And then, you know, it's not like we are just on a script. This is real life and time is flying and you want to look back in your life and have a fulfilled life on all the areas, not just on the one because you had to sacrifice the other on all the levels.
Right. And before, by the way, I want to take a question right now. I want to take two questions actually. Freddie's asking the following, right? So, and this is the question to you. Did it ever cross your mind that me, might be taking a lot of risk and wanting to stop him? So you want to stop me and try to, in fact, I think you did, and try to ask him to change his journey or go back to work as anyone who believes in a comfort zone, for example, salary-based comp. What happened? Please.
Absolutely, I did that. I will not lie, I did that. When things started being rocky and shaky, I told him, you know what, you're brilliant, you studied, people were chasing you, you know, they're always looking at your CV and just wanting to have you on board of this great, you know, corporate company, and you can do so much better. And he did follow that advice for a little bit.
Right.
But you were so miserable at times. You would come home. Yes, you have the job. Yes, you have the wheels and nice lifestyle. And then I was like, yeah, I'm happy. But the way that you would be miserable coming from work and just, you know, letting it all out there was like, oh boy, this ain't working. It's not gonna last long. And then you stop and went back on course. And that's where I really had to stop, like I said before, and say, okay, we're going this way and tag along.
So and I can definitely attest to that. Donna has, I remember we're flying back from London, and this is in 2011, right? And as I fly back in London, this is the beginning of a difficult journey for me. All my deals I'm going through, a few couples of millions of rands deals that I kind of signed up, that I was hopeful to actually make out there, didn't quite come through. And here and now, I'm trying to find exactly how to balance things out. And I still strongly so believe in my capacity that in the end, I'm like, you know what? Look, she's definitely insisting that I go to work. I'm like, there's no way. I don't know how to start looking for a job again. But people actually reach out to me. They're like, hey, you know what? We love your profile. We love this. I'm like, you know what? This is not for me. And for me, the only thing I remember, the only reason why I was actually listening to her is because I believe we had probably 2 kids. No, actually we had one. Jaden, our firstborn. We had him, and I was like, okay. And Samantha was there as well. You know, our first daughter actually. But the thing is, it was quite hard for me to be able to stay right there and say, you know what, I gotta go back to work. Working for people was never, and it's still not, and will never be. I'm here to create jobs and to create opportunities and empower other people out there. But working for others really was never something for me, and I refused categorically to actually go out there. And I was ready to just absorb my pain of trying to sustain her financially and the kids. I was ready for me to go down that route. Okay, yes, I got the job, but I was so, it was a beautiful job, but I was so miserable. Imagine being able to consult with a bank, right, the Standard Bank Group, and being a senior manager, and you have a whole bunch of people actually reporting to you, but still, that was never the one thing for me. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do that. And at times, she was actually miserable as well. And by the way, let me tell you one thing. I'm a very stubborn guy, and I think my stubbornness helped me to carry on my journey as an entrepreneur and continue taking risks. Oh boy, I took that risk like we have no flipping idea, right? So the other thing that I really want to be able to move on really is, let's talk about the entrepreneurial life, okay? And this is where I'm going to bring in some of the most interesting questions. I'm going to let you into my pain, my miseries, and my downfall. But the one thing that I really want her to be able to attest to it, so that we can you guys can really understand the stories of my journey as an entrepreneur and so forth. But before I do so, I want you to kind of explain really today, based on the experiences you've had, what does the entrepreneur life means to you today, based on what you see? Do you see it as a fulfilling venture and journey, or do you see it as something that you definitely would want to be able to encourage to any other people out there? Just broaden that so that we can start diving into the meat of this conversation.
All right. So, it comes to we are in a relationship. We are married. We have children. We're building a life, building a legacy. So we're on the same boat. And there's only one captain in that boat, right? So we know that, like I always say, I call you my king, talks about the king of kings, which is God. And we're on a boat, right? And there's a captain on that boat. And we're going in one direction. A boat can go south, at the same time go north, at the same time go east or west. So you gotta be on track. So entrepreneurial lifestyle is very challenging. I will not lie. It's very demanding. There are times where I miss it a lot. But again, I'm like, right, he's doing this for us. Not for us only, but to build a legacy, to impact many lives out there and to make a change in today's history that will live on and for our children, the children, and generations to come. So it's a matter of perspective and say, yes, I miss him right now, but then when he's done doing A, B, C, D, he's gonna come back to me, then we're gonna do A, B, C, D. So it's a matter of perspective and knowing that we are going onto that journey.
So how do you think that a partner can understand or start grasping these perspectives? Exactly, because you say it's a matter of perspective.
Yes.
So how do you think that can actually somebody out there can certainly understand perspectives and really support their spouses?
So I believe in open communication, because we like best friends. We talk about the ugly, we talk about the beautiful, we talk about everything. And there's no perfect here, but just imperfect people trying to, better themselves and better the relationship and whatnot. So communication is key. And obviously just letting it out there, the way that you share your passion, your vision, and even coaching me as well into understanding better what it is that we are going towards. And so for me, it's a learning curve as well. And communication is key. And of course, expressing that desire to really achieve something or get to a place.
Right. So I'm going to take a couple of questions right now. Okay. So there's Veronica. By the way, Veronica, thank you for being such a loyal, member of the audience. Really, from day one, you may have missed probably one, but you've been an amazing. In fact, people like you deserve a special gift from me, and I'm hoping that by December I'll certainly be able to prepare some amazing gift for you. Veronica, you are amazing, and she said, you know what? It's beautiful listening to you guys, and please share your best moment of John's achievement in his entrepreneurial journey. Why don't you actually explain to the audience right there so you can actually respond to it?
Wow. So one of the best, there's been so many. Like I said, it does his work with so much passion that I feed on as well. And of course, we support one another and whatnot, but I feed on that passion and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. This is gonna be awesome. But one thing that he loves beyond everything is to deliver and to deliver beyond expectation. So the best moment would be when he had a target and he has reached that target and seen the face just shining all bright. And I've seen so many of them. Last one was just last week again.
Right. Beautiful. So we, this is just one of many, and of course the perks of that as well, being able to warn ourselves of the hard work we actually put through, whether it is through travels and things like that. But we certainly have endured some difficult times, which I would like to share openly, really, to empower you guys. And I'll just tell a bit of a story that my wife is going to be able to attest as well, just to give hope and courage to every single one of you. But before I do so, I want to take another question from Freddie. But you know what he says, John? I know you're the host, but I want to ask you a question. Okay, Freddie, I'm glad that you're taking your question, Freddie. I am. And your question is to you as well as will be, what can you share as an entrepreneur to have the partner you've been blessed with that you needed for the journey you had embarked in for all the years? Wow. Okay. It is. Look, it is. That's a beautiful, beautiful question, and I think that this is one thing I knew from day one, right? And I was 26 years old when I felt deep down in my heart that you know, this was definitely a part for me. Beyond so first of all, I was drawn into the beauty within, and the beauty within actually led me to realizing. And I remember one of her friends even came to me and told me, you know what, you are a very smart man. The fact that you actually see that at the very beginning and you want to seal this deal, you're definitely a very, very bad. And this guy has encouraged me over time. And for me, I saw somebody who was, who was able to fulfill multiple roles as a lady, all right? And as we celebrating Women's Month, right? Multiple roles. Somebody who will support me, somebody who will be happy for me. I remember in 2003 when I invited her at my university because I was invited, and for the first time at university, I was the one candidate, never ever done before at that time. I was only in my second year at university, but I was able to win two awards. First of all, the award for being the best student of my class, but second of all, the award for being the best student for the entire department. Now, that had never been achieved before. It was always somebody at a higher grade being able to, essentially last year, fourth year, for example, doing his BTech degree or whatever, being able to get those awards. And I remember my dean mentioning to me, but you know what, John, you actually did before, and there's nothing but we gotta have to give this to you. And I invited her to accompany me to that particular ceremony. And for the first time, they called my name twice, and I went up there on the stage to actually collect the award. And but you know what? There was just so much energy, positive energy, that I could see somebody who certainly would be able to support me. But at the same time as well, look, it's about following your gut, right? I mean, find a person who, it's not about saying yes and amen, somebody who will challenge your thoughts, but most importantly, somebody who will respect you, right? And somebody who will respect you and who will see tremendous value out of what you are talking about. Because I talk with passion, and when I do, I could see exactly the glare in her eyes. I was able to definitely transform her personality, and for me, it was like, wow, this is beautiful. It's definitely somebody who is going to help me and support me in my journey. And already right there and then, I knew Freddie that this was the plan, right? So somebody else is making a few comments, but you know what? I want to come back into the entrepreneurial life, right? So can you explain to the audience what were your most difficult moments in this entrepreneurial life journey, both from a financial perspective, anything else? Can you please explain to the audience right there what were your most difficult moments, not just a good moment?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's a roller coaster. It's not a straight road. It's a bumpy road. And of course, you always try to be risk adverse because you want to put in some securities where you can fall off on, and if anything goes wrong. But because of the way that this journey of entrepreneurship started, and really learning on his own how to get the tricks and what's in the business, in the entrepreneurial lifestyle, not really having a mentor or a coach, and it was really self-taught and driven with that passion as well. We've had times where we didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough money for living, for surviving. We lost cars. We lost our home. It was hard. And we're not just two lovers, we have a family. And the one time which was really critical, I was fully pregnant. And the sheriff rocks up at my house. And then the reception is like, the sheriff is, asking for you. I'm like, sure, sure he's got nothing right. What do you need to say? And it's like, no, it's you. I'm like, at work, and I'm pregnant, and I had to come down, and I had to go, because you don't want him to come all the way up there to the executive level, and then you have to explain yourself. So you rush down, and there they are. They serve you with a letter, and then you don't know what you do, and it's been crazy, But again, you will have a conversation and say, where are we now? What are we going to do? Always. He will just say, come through. I'll make it through. And I'm screaming, God, you see this? But he'll be like, yeah, but we're gonna make it through. Something's gonna come up. And I'm like, at that moment, and of course you pray, you have faith in God, you have your expectations as well when it comes to that. And when things like this happen, it does not make sense. But in that, realizing that it's a learning point whereby you have to stop and look at yourself, look at your life, who you are, and identify really what truly matters in life, what mistakes not to repeat again, and how to do things better. And you grow as well in that pain, in that uncertainty and whatnot. You actually come to realize how much more stronger you are than you thought, how much more stronger you come out of it as before, So it's like a loss that's also a victory, because it just stirs something in you that you didn't know was there before, in order for you to overcome this. And God is just so good.
And just to complement on what she's saying, right? And by the way, one of my traits as an entrepreneur is I thrive better under extremely difficult, painful circumstances. The only annoying part is that I could be unable at that time to fulfill a task that requires financial support or monetary support. But in fact, I always find personally joy going through difficult time, because it is during those moments that I'm able to unleash the beast in me. I'm able to identify how hard it is. And by the way, this is the same for this pandemic. I've gone through some challenges right into this pandemic that you wouldn't believe. For example, this show was born during the pandemic, guys. Right? This show was born during the pandemic, and I've been able to have probably about 18 shows so far, and I've interviewed so many people, right? But at the same time, I've been able to completely transform as well during the pandemic, okay? Whereby now we're thriving and working excitingly so on the digital bank. And by the way, the digital bank of Exalio, this is a dream of mine 4 years ago in 2016, but we are in 2020 making it happen. And I've got a team of guys, about now 10 people right now who are working with me, excited, but not only the team, it is the world is excited to support the digital bank initiative so that we can actually make it happen. But when we lost everything, for me, it was a moment of introspection. By the way, I don't pay too much attention to what the people talk about me out there. And when I say talking about me, I really don't care what you say or what you do, especially if you don't put one single rand or a dollar in my bank account, then your opinion matters very little to me, right? And I stand by what I believe in. I know myself. If what you accuse me of, I know I am not. I don't care exactly about what you say. So I went through a difficult time. And when she was pregnant, guess what? We resorted, we found ourselves, including with the money, right? This was, and by the way, my cousin Freddie was my host at that time, and he supported me through that time, whereby he gave me a shelter. And that shelter was one single room. Yes, I'm saying it right now, for those of you who don't know, one single room. You always see me traveling around the world and all that kind of stuff, but you don't know my story. You don't know the pain that I'm actually going through. You don't know the difficult moment that I've had to endure for me to be able to be the person that I am today. One person who can actually mentor guys. You don't know how many times I've been scammed. You don't know how many times I've actually lost money. I've traveled in uncharted territories where people were able to actually take advantage of me. And those are the things that I've actually gone through. You know, one single bedroom, and I'm sleeping on the floor, by the way. I'm sleeping on the floor with my son, and she's fully pregnant, like actually like 24 months pregnant. And okay, and I've got my nanny sleeping on the lounge with my daughter and my other son. And so this is like a condensed place. But guess what? You will never be able to see that from me today because of how I do things or how I. So these things, it is important as entrepreneurs to be able to share some of these difficult moments so that we can actually empower, encourage you that you know what, it doesn't matter where you are right now. It is just a journey. Hang on. And I always hung on. And the beautiful thing for me is that when I go to bed, when she is in doubt, what I do is I close my eyes or sometimes open my eyes. I dream and I see these things. I'm like, you know what? If only I was able to share with you what I see, what God allows me to see, you would realize exactly the reason why I just don't let go, man. Like, I just don't do things like, you know, right now, no, that's it. I'm just doing this thing for Jane. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just doing this thing for Jane and Giovanni and Geraldo and Samantha. Let me just go and team this. No, I'm not that. I continue working extremely hard because I do believe that's exactly the one thing that gets me out of that situation. So we're actually wrapping up and getting at the end of this conversation right now. So what I would like you to do is to really share quite a few thoughts out there, encourage the audience. What can you tell them, okay, when it comes to it being in a relationship, in an entanglement?
All right, you have to mention that.
All right. So in a nice entanglement, all right, in a marriage entanglement, what can you tell these people really who are following us about being a wife, being a supportive woman, and also what is now your stance on entrepreneurship, and how do you feel about it? And do you see yourself being an entrepreneur one day, or just not supporting being a part of the business of an entrepreneur?
So definitely, I'll give always the glory to God because I'm a believer, and I know that everything we're going through is being with us, and it's like we said, it's a journey, and of course, just making us better, understand life better, understanding ourselves better, and understanding the world out there better, and really realize how you can make an impact not only in your immediate family, but extend it in your community and rest of Africa and rest of the world. So God is always really giving me the strength because, we're human and yes, we have faith, but they are trying times that you really gotta surrender and really. So for me, it's been really really having to let go, embrace it, and just trust God and trust the vision within and align with what you could see. And the more we were spending time, so that I started asking people questions. Show me a bit what you do and ask me questions like how did it go? How do you do this and whatnot? So I started being more and more engaged so that I could see that same vision, what he could see, through his lenses. And then that has made an impact that today, from the corporate world, I am so excited of being part of the business and I'm like, this is the way.
Beautiful. Guys, we're getting at the end of this conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. I'm hoping that in the future, we are going to be sharing more and more. But you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. My team just mentioned to me that 3 people were able to really engage. And I'm going to mention these names. These ones are Misian Ngalula. This is a beautiful friend of mine in the DRC. You and I are just, we suffer from way back, right? So you supported me when I came to the DRC in 2016, 17, and started talking about Bitcoin. And guess what? Michelle was actually helping me. She was more like my PA during my conferences. I've spoken to over 1,000 people in the DRC, and she was helping me, Michelle. And I had the privilege of seeing her in October in Denver. But I know that she's in the DRC right now and married to some guy that I really appreciate. Well done to you, and congratulations to your marriage. And I'm there's also Bob, my man Bob, man. Come on, Bob is amazing. Bob Harvey, Bob, by the way, is a brilliant mind. So this is what Bob is doing, right? So he once again, it is a vision that you get, right? So he had a beautiful vision, a beautiful dream to create a network of Congolese entrepreneurs in the diaspora, predominantly in South Africa, right? So how to put together all the Congolese entrepreneurs together. In fact, not only entrepreneurs, but Congolese professionals, the community of entrepreneurs, professionals. So his network is called the Congolese Pro Network, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please post that on this live so that people know exactly who you are. And the idea is to get Congolese entrepreneurs connected. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking for work, if you're looking to do any of these things. So Bob is actually doing that. Well done. He's had me on the show once, and it was amazing. But there's also another one. Alex Odiekila. My man Alex. I knew his sister, a very Kelly Odiekila. I knew his sister very long ago when I was in varsity back home, several years ago. But it was only up until a few years ago, probably about 6-8 years ago in South Africa, that I kind of matched and realized they were actually family. So well done, and I know you've been following my work for a very long time. So this is what I'm going to do today, right? So you guys will be able to share this particular live, and remember the idea is to give to each of you, well, actually to one particular winner only, one, and I mean one only. But before I do, let me just look into some of the comments over here. So there's Veronica. Thank you very much, Veronica. Thank you very, very much. But there's somebody on Twitter. This is the Joseph Dogo. You've always been great. Impact me, John. My man, thank you very, very much. Okay, God bless you. Thank you very much for being there. And Freddie, your last comment as well. Over here, big ups to you. Always been proud, beautiful. But you know what? You guys are friends, all the way from the same school. So this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to give to all these three people, Miss Yan, Bob, and Alex. I'm going to give you guys 1,000 rand each worth of Bitcoin. So that would be 3,000 rand. And please make sure that you actually engage with us on this live. You engage and you send a link or whatever your message, how we can actually be sure to send a hacker number. I've already trained you on how to get Bitcoin anyway, so I'm going to buy that Bitcoin for you. Okay, and here's you. Thank you very much, Kareem. Bob, you are going to be this is probably the first time, and I'm going to train. I got your number. I'm going to train you. I'm going to show you a few things, and you are just in fact, congratulations to you for earning these 1,000 rand worth of Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you a few things. I will take my time this week. It's a good week for me because I'm traveling, but I will take my time to explain. Jesus, I shouldn't have done say that, but anyway, that's the truth. I'm traveling. Alex, this is from Alex, I will definitely make it worth your while, and you just also earned 1,000 rand with Bitcoin just for being on this show. Thank you very much from my heart for supporting me and trusting and believing in me. And I want to end on this note. I am boldly building a digital bank. And this digital bank is an amazing story for me. A story of change, a story of, always being looked down upon, a story of whereby I really want to change the status quo, we live in a digital world, and I'm boldly doing that. And the way I do things is quite daring. And sometimes I feel scared about my own dreams. I'm like, I think this is a bit too much, right? But I've been able to put together a team in place, and very soon I'm going to announce, and I will actually have a show with my entire team. Rotani, thank you very much for your comment. I know you actually, you've been a friend of mine for 13 years, and you are part of the team that is building the digital bank. But I've got an amazing suite of amazing folks out there who are of the fintech and banking industry and IT industry and investment world. And I've got an amazing PR team. Thank you, Devon, for always being there. I know I can be very hard sometimes, but you know what? That's the game. I'm a perfectionist. I love things that are really top notch. And the idea is to deliver to you guys, simplifying access to investment opportunities, to payments and banking. So this year alone, we're going to focus on two things. That will be investment and payments. Now, guess what? In December this year, I'm working towards, God willing, God being a witness, really, I'm working towards really making sure that I'm going to do an aggressive, I call it an aggressive guerrilla marketing. Okay, I'm going to call it a guerrilla marketing campaign whereby we are going to give you guys close to 0% on remittance because we want to draw the diaspora around the world to understand one thing, that Axalio is all about bringing the world to Africa, Africa to the world, but most importantly, the diaspora community to start being able to do working together cross-border. How do you do that? We want you to start understanding the value of money.
Yes.
But we also want you to start understanding what it means to invest. Last week, I had an amazing shooting day, and I went all the way to town and I did some amazing shoot whereby I spoke to people on the street and taking pictures with them and interviewing them. And guess what? From the people who sell eggs on the, on the head to those selling fruits, veggies at the market, to some of you guys sitting here in Center Square and drinking champagne and whatnot, there was one fundamental message: investing and having good returns. And guess what? That's what I am bringing to you. Me and my team, we do some amazing things. We're working hard, we're working boldly. We are doing this for you. And for me, it is a passion and a drive because I want to live this as a legacy. And guess what? Move on to something else, create something new. Whatever the Lord is going to put in my mind, I am the entrepreneur. I once was, I am right now, and I will always be. All right. And guess what? My kids as well will be entrepreneurs because a lion doesn't give birth to a little monkey.
That's right.
All right. So a lion gives birth to little cats who one day are going to become lions as well. So, Jed, if you're listening to that right now, but you know what? Thank you very much from my heart. And make sure that you share this message. That will be to Lucian and Bob and Alex. Alex, please, I don't have your details, but please reach out and send a message so that we can actually engage with you. Tabang is going to connect with you and get your details and tell you exactly how we can make this happen. So congratulations on earning that. And that's on me. 3,000 Rand each, 1,000 Rand each. And that's in Bitcoin. The reason why I'm paying in Bitcoin is because I want you to be educated on it, and I want you to see and understand the value of it. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, actually, really, it's the one thing that will help you to understand the true value of money, because I'm doing that. Thank you very much, guys. I love you all, and I'm gonna let her do the closing comments, right? Please do the closing comments while I'm looking for my last video to do the generic right now. Please do the closing comments.
So thank you so much, Love, for having me on the show. Thanks to the audience, for everybody who tuned in, and stay tuned for more. It's going to be epic.
All right, guys. So you heard it, and thank you once again. I look forward to seeing you. And next week we are going to have on Monday. I'm going to bring in another amazing guest. Just stay tuned, okay? I've been following her, and she's an amazing lady, and I look forward to engaging you even more, all right? So stay tuned while we are doing some funny little things right now and making sure that you guys actually get to see that. But hey, you know what? That's the beauty of the way you're doing right now, and that's it.
Can blockchain be a catalyst for development in Africa? Here is our interview with John Lombela.
It's going to be a pretty unique show where we're talking to digital entrepreneurs and Black entrepreneurs that are actually doing great things. Let it be in the marketing space, let it be in cryptocurrency. And I brought back John Lombela, a good friend of mine who's been playing in that space for quite a while. John Lombela, John is the cryptocurrency guru. I call it like that.
I'm an entrepreneur myself, all the way from South Africa. It is important to always develop new things, right? So ambitiously build new occasions beyond just financial services. Yes, we believe in the financial services. I mean, Bitcoin, as a matter of fact, was created as a payment system, a peer-to-peer cash electronic system. It all started from there, but it doesn't have to stop there.